Able to make it tonight. I appreciate that. I also want to say I appreciate HPATV for allowing us to host this event. Tonight you are here to listen to somebody who will tell you about adversity and success and how it's not an easy path, but everybody can achieve it. Let me introduce you to Big Steve.
Hi guys. So first of all, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I know it's hard with work, kids, everything that's going on in the summertime. So like I said, I'm CT's Big Steve, author from Orphan to Millionaire. So I'm going to start off by talking a little bit about the book, a little bit about the business ventures that I've done to get me to where I'm at right now, and some of the things that I'm doing now to set up my kids up for success for them. So where did everything start? Well, I was born in Cali, Colombia, right? My family was gunned down in front of me in the kitchen. I ran out the back of the kitchen to the closest church where 2 nuns took me in. At that time, I was an orphan for about a year, and then 2 doctors from Trumbull, Connecticut flew down and took me in. So, crazy start to a life. I lost my family. I got into a new family, and then now I'm in a whole new country, learning the rules, education, making friends, adapting, and changing my life. One of the scariest things that I had to go through is in the orphanage, everyone was fighting for themselves. It was at that time that I realized that I had to defend for myself, and I had to rely on myself. Since 5. Seeing kids kill each other for pillows, food. When the bell rung, if you didn't make it quick enough to the line, you weren't getting no soup. That was it. But when I came to America and was living in Trumbull, I had breakfast, I had lunch, I had dinner, I had my own bed. And I was so, how do I say this, when I came to America, I was so nervous about people taking my sneakers. I slept in my bed for about a week with my sneakers on. That's how traumatized I was from the orphanage. And it took me a couple of weeks till my mother said, it's okay to take your sneakers off while you go to bed. Your bed's not going nowhere. No one's going to take your pillowcases, your sneakers. You have your own bathroom. I used to play with the lights. Watch this, Ma. On, off, on. I had my own light. To me, that was everything. Coming from an orphanage that everything was shared. There was about 4 bunks per room, 4 beds high, about 1 to 2 nuns per floor. You can imagine having 50 kids running around and 1 or 2 nuns watching over everything, right? So when I came to America, I was adjusting to, the kids. I realized that my skin color was different than the average kids. My mom and dad were older. They weren't the same skin color. I had to learn a new language. So there was different barriers that I had to overcome, right? And it was during that time, dressing, speaking, I used to make jokes to kids because I wanted to fit in, right? So that took the pressure off of me. Oh, I don't have his nice new sneakers, or I don't have those Yeezys right there. As a kid, that was really hard for me. I would sit down in class, hope they're not looking at my sneakers. But as I got older, I realized that didn't define who I was, right? With the support of my mother and my father, saying that you don't got to worry about what's on your feet or what's on your body, it's what's in here. Because what's in here will get you these, will get you this, will get you this, right? So, like I said, I got adopted, lived in Trumbull, Connecticut. I started really getting into money when I was around 13, 14. How did I get into that? Well, I realized when you were working at a job, I worked at Filene's, folding up sweaters. Some of the kids would just push them off the table. I fold it again, push it off the table. And I realized, oh, okay, so this is going to happen Monday through Friday. I'm going to have to come in the next day, fold the sweater, he's going to knock it off, do it again the next day and the next day. So that got me to thinking, okay, I don't like this, so what do I got to do to get out of this? So I started saving some of the money that I had. Mom, here's the $200 I made this week. I want you to put it on the stock market for me, so then while I'm working over here, my $200 is moving up just a little bit. Not a lot, Small ROI, but I knew over a period of time, if I did that consistently, eventually that nest egg is gonna be, shoo, right? So instead of eating out while I was working, I didn't eat out. I brought my own lunch, brought my own water, saved my money, and then the money that I made, I put into the stock market to build up over a period of time, right? Coming in. So now, like I said, I started doing that. I was around 13, 14, 15, right? Then I got into, going to college. I went to Southern, graduated over there with a business, a degree in business management, minor in human performance, and business marketing. Now, school isn't for everybody. I did it. I excelled in business classes. I always asked a lot of questions because I knew with information, what I could do with information would help me win, right? And that's that from that, right? So I graduated college, had a degree, business management degree. I was working in the corporate world, making 42, I signed with Sherwin-Williams, $42,000 a year, right? I moved it to Danbury, Connecticut, making $42,000 a year. I couldn't even take a woman on a date. Dag, I went to college, got all this knowledge, got a couple dollars on the stock market, and I can't take a woman on a date. All right, well, something's gonna change. So, what did I do? Come in. No worries, no worries. Thank you. So what did I have to do? So I was working my full-time job at Sherwin-Williams. I started working part-time at a nightclub, 1 day a week. Okay, nothing crazy. That 1 day a week turned into 2 days a week, then turned into 3 days a week. Then it turned into 4 days a week. To so much that the part-time job, I was making more money than my full-time job. What did I do? Yo, Ma, I'm making X amount of dollars on my side hustle right here, my part-time job. I love it. Nightclub, people are enjoying themselves. I'm doing security, I'm making a couple dollars. I got my full-time job. I didn't like it. Had to listen to this guy, had to follow the corporate rules. I like this, but this has got the benefits. But I continue pushing. I saved that money. All the other friends were going out partying Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. What was Steve doing? You know what? Let me invest that money. So I was working a part-time job, about 32 hours a week, while working 42 hours a week. All that money was being invested. The whole entire time I was at the nightclub, I didn't spend a dollar. Lived in a one-bedroom apartment in Bethel, Connecticut, and that was really the beginning of me really getting good with, okay, my part-time job, save over here, the full-time job pays for your bills. Till the fact that I didn't need my job, but I still kept it. Little time went by, I got out of the work in the corporate world, went to start doing my own landscaping business. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. My partner had other activities that he wanted to work on. So I sold my accounts, boom. Got into, was retired for a little bit. Then I got into the trucking game. Did the box truck thing. My best friend right here, Ja, him and I, 2 guys in a box truck. Yo, Ja, come on, we're gonna work for ourselves. I'm gonna get us a truck, I'm gonna get us a route, start working for ourselves, right? Make our own hour. You don't wanna work today? Don't worry, I want to work every day. So that's what we did for that. 1 box truck turned to 2. Then I got into the 18-wheelers, the big dogs. A few of those, did that for a little bit. A lot of my drivers weren't complying with the DOT inspections and things like that. Diesel fuel prices are going up. Drivers aren't paying attention. I'm getting fines left and right. Boom, boom, boom. What does Big Steve got to do? I think it's time to pivot, guys. The direction we're going in, it's not looking good down the road. I put that on ice. Got into producing movies. Tubi. Made a couple Tubi movies. The Group Trip, Dysfunctional Ways. Not Another Hood movie. A couple of them are out there. Got into that. Got into the podcasting. Finding myself in different avenues, right? Okay. All right. God, what about real estate? Oh, okay. So I did have some properties. Unfortunately, when my mother passed, I ended up selling all my properties and consolidated everything because operating 6+ properties by myself was very hard. I consolidated everything, fixed all the properties up, sold them myself. I marketed them myself, sold them myself, wrote up the contracts myself, everything myself. Why do I say that? Because I wanted to keep the money in-house. Hired my best friends to help me renovate my condo, my house, my vacation house, my other house, to sell it ourselves, keep the money in-house. Rather than most people, they'll hire someone else to do it, carpenter, fix it up, hire a realtor to sell it. Not me. Now, I don't really boast on dollars, but just doing that, I made my family over $1 million. Just doing that right there. I'll give you an example. So my mother's house in Fairfield she bought it for $750,000. My best friend Ja, his son, a couple other of my friends, from my brother, we fixed it up, put a new roof on it, did the landscaping. He hired a realtor. Steve, I can't sell the house. Okay, why are you having trouble? No worries. So what did I do? I waited till the contract was up. Myself, I took pictures of the inside of the house, outside of the house, marketed it on social media. I pre-screened all the buyers. Either it was a cash deal, so you got to show me finances that you can afford this house, or a pre-approval letter to even speak about the house. Respectfully, this is a house in Fairfield. It's not a house in, Bristol, Burlington. No, it's in Fairfield, respectfully. The houses in that range, they can go all the way up to a couple $1 million. So long story short, I did all that myself, made my family over $1 million just saving that. Sold the house, boom, 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 wrote up the contract, negotiated the deal, I did it all. Boom. Now, why do I say that? I say that because if you guys want to make money, right, you're going to have to do a lot of things yourself. And you're going to have to do that until you save enough funds to be able to do what you want and deal with who you want. Right? Bye, guys. Bye. It's all right. No. Take care of them. Take care of them. Family first. Family first. I was very big on that. I did not want to wait, nor did I want to wait on someone else to bring something to me or to my family. If I wanted something, I'm going to do it, and that's it. I saw it, I did it, I wrote it down, I executed it, and that's that. Now, that is very important for everyone that wants to be successful for themselves, right? Now, there's different types of success as well with that. For me, I was already successful being adopted. Many nights I cried, God, please give me one chance, just one chance. I'm taking that to the sky. That means everything I do is 100%. Everything I do. Because if it wasn't for my mother and father taking me in, you wouldn't see me right here. Right? There's a lot of, how do I say this, examples of some men and women that are given a chance at life. They blow it, whether it's drugs, violence, whatever the case may be. That's free will. That's on them. For me, I'm taking this opportunity, the second chance at life, utmost to the top. Right? All right. So some of the businesses that I did to get where I'm at right here. So I told you guys, around 13, 14, I started investing in stocks. Right? What stocks did I invest in? I invested into Under Armour. Why did I invest into Under Armour? Because at that time in 1997, I used to go to the gym, looking around, who's wearing what? This guy got on something. She got on those shoes. She got on this. Yo, Ma, the money I got put into Under Armour. Why are you doing that? I don't know, but that company, something's going to happen with that company. This was in 97. What, Steph Curry has a $100 million deal with Under Armour? So I started that back then. What's another company I invested in? Okay, Apple. Why did I invest into Apple? Saw some of the little kids when I was, a junior in high school, the big phones. I'm walking around school. What's he got? Oh, he got the money. He got a big phone. Yeah, that's the baller right there. Let me look that up. I think it was called Nokia back in the day. Then the Nextel, flip, boom. What did I do? Took a couple dollars I had, invested into Microsoft. What are they going to do? Why are you investing into them, Steve? Well, my pops said, research the companies and who's running the companies and what about them. Not the company, them. So if you guys know anything about Microsoft, those guys are very intelligent, right? They're always pushing the threshold, meaning the fact that they're coming up with something new all the time. It's always going. So my train of thought is they might not have something big right now, but eventually they're gonna have something that's gonna hit. Invested a few dollars then, 96, 97, I did the Microsoft. What happened in 2000 something? The iPhone came out. My family and I cashed out on that from back then. I'll tell you one last company that I invested in and why. I invested into McDonald's, Burger King, and Nike. I did all that between 96 and 99. Why did I do that? When I traveled to Spain overseas, McDonald's and Coca-Cola and Nike are some of the only companies in the world that wherever you go in the world, the logo never changes. Now, why is that? Well, because they branded themselves that they can go and do services or products anywhere in the world and it'll still be the same. Little Steve, at that time, studying in Salamanca, Spain, Colegio de España, I studied. The McDonald's over there, it's a 5-star restaurant. Kids dress up nice to eat at McDonald's. Wow. Over here, people were whatever. McDonald's, pfft. We think of a McDonald's down here, right? Respectfully. In some countries, McDonald's is up here. Parents are wearing suits. Kids are dressed up nice for the same thing that you guys eat. McDonald's over here. But long story short, those are the companies that I invested in at a young age. Obviously, as I got older, it got into medical supplies, it got into space technology, and it got into the health industry. I started diversifying my portfolio, my investment portfolio. Why health? Why space? Why electronics? Because it's always pushing the envelope. If you turn on the news, there's a new medicine for this, or a new pill for this, or new this and that, whatever. That's why I invested into that, right? So those are some of the things that I did to get me to where I'm at right now. So what are a couple things that I'm doing right now that I'm gonna situate my kids? I'm getting into real estate for them. I'm helping them fix their credit. Right now, my 18-year-old son almost has a perfect score, almost has an 800 credit score. I didn't even know what credit was when I was 16, 17. But we speak about it a little bit. He really doesn't know. I'm still learning the game, but sets him off on the right foot. 18, almost an 800 credit score, deposit on his first investment property. So what does that do for him? Okay, so we get a property. My oldest son, his name is Julian. Why property for Julian right now? He's 18. Typical mortgage, what, 25 years, 30 years? I invest X amount of dollars, house roughly $282,000. It's paid off in 25 years. We sell it, makes $80,000, $90,000. That's something I'm doing right now for my son. The goal for him is to have 3 properties in less than a year, so then by 21, he won't have to pay a mortgage. Each property collectively will pay a mortgage wherever he wants to live. That's my goal. That's the push for him. 800 credit score, a couple dollars on the bank, a couple dollars on the stock market, and some real estate. So that's for my kids. Now for myself, the investment is a little different. I need cash on hand, so how I invest is low risk, high reward, rather than high risk, low reward. So both of my kids, I use Bradley Foster & Sargent as the investment firm. They work like this with Fidelity, right? Them, high risk, low reward. Me, low risk, high reward. Because I'm moving a lot, whether it's cars, real estate, speaking engagements, whatever I want, I need to have access to cash. So my investment for myself is different than for my kids. That's how that goes. What is a couple things that I've learned from my mother and father. Oh man, this is tough. Perseverance. To believe in myself, and that anything's possible if you believe in yourself. I don't care if everyone is against me. I just need this guy right here. That's it. So we'll go from there. Some Q&As. Ask some questions about the business ventures that I'm doing, what I've done, what I'm trying to do. And then I'd like to hear some about what you guys got going on. What do you do for work? What are you doing for the future? I see you're taking notes right there. You're going to read those notes later? Of course. Okay, that's good. I seen you got a new job. You're doing good. You used to be in the nightclub life. Now you're not doing that. You're changing. Growth, huh? So tell me what you guys got going on, and then whatever questions you have towards me, ask me anything you want. Whether it's the book, movies, investments, different type of investments. You don't have to always have money to do a business deal. It could be an access that you have to certain people. It could be a knowledge you bring to the table. Doesn't always have to be money from your side, but you got to be smart enough to, how do I say this, structure that deal. You learn that over a period of time. So ask a question. Sure.
So I got some cash and I could start a business of my choosing, but basically I don't because I don't want to count on anybody. I feel it's so hard to count on people to get stuff done.
That's tough.
Doing it yourself most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you deal with counting on people to do what you need done?
Well, what I've done is I made a lot of mistakes hiring the wrong people and counting on the wrong people. I've lost a lot of money. Unfortunately, with that, you just have to get better at hiring, right? That's what I've learned. And also, when you hire slowly, fire quickly. What's his name? Grant Cardone, for example. It'll take him a while to hire you, but if you mess up, he'll fire you like this. That's because in business, time is money. For you in that instance right there, it's literally your money every second, right? So take a little time, pre-screen your workers or whoever you're gonna hire. Double check them, right? Follow up even more, right? That would be one. The second advice I'd give is if you have an operations manager, to have them operate the business and you oversee them. But one of the biggest mistakes that I made in some of my businesses is that I used to micromanage certain people. Now I let the people do what they have to do. It's my job to correct whatever that they didn't do. But if I hired you for task A, you better do task A. If I got to follow you on task A, I did my job wrong. That would be me wasting my time.
What are some like red flags or like
Okay. One of the main things for me is being on time. Being on time, clean cut, doing exactly what you say you're gonna do, whether it's the smallest thing. Because for me, if you're gonna lie about going to the bathroom, what else are you gonna lie to me about? And that leads me to this. With some of the things I did when I used to own a nightclub, what I used to do sometimes, I would tell all my workers, I'm not coming in tonight. What they didn't know is I came in the back of the nightclub through the back and I watched on the cameras to see where he's at, to make sure she was bartending right. Don't worry, guys, I'm not coming in today. My partner Al's gonna be here. He would make it look, hi, look at me, I'm Al, blah, blah, blah. People don't realize I'm in the corner over there watching everybody. So I get to see what the people really are. All right? Sometimes you gotta do that. They got a TV show on that, what's it called? Undercover Boss. That TV show, you really recognize what your workers are doing for you. Not what they're doing in front of you, what are they doing behind your back? Right? So to answer both of your questions, be more prompt with hiring and fire quickly. And then as far as hiring an operations manager, whatever you hire him or her to do, let them do it. Right? Because you have to use your time to oversee everything. Don't do their job. And I'm speaking from experience. Speaking from experience, those lessons cost money. In the trucking game for me, hundreds of thousands, I lost, hundreds. Make a mistake, just a pre-trip, that's a $15,000, $20,000 fine. Snap of a finger. Oh, by the way, you got to pay that fine if you want to continue your trucking game to get a load for your next driver. And if you got drivers that are on the payroll, you still got to pay them. So you better get moving quickly. Got a question?
Like you said, you work in both sides of the world. You know, you want to become professional as well as you know how everybody around you moves.
Yes.
How do you know who to cut off in your family and who not to?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Repeat the question.
So the question is, how do you know? Hey, come on. Hey, guys. Go, sit down. The question was, how do you know with the people around you who to cut off and when to cut them off? Now, that's going to be different from everyone. What I've learned from myself from experience, it's what do we have in common? So that's it for me. If you are not adding value to me in some sort of way, there will be no conversation. And it's not no hater shit, I'm thinking I'm better. It's just things that I want to do for myself and my family. What you got going on isn't adding to that, so I respectfully have to go this way. Now, it's different for everyone's situation. Because everyone's going to say, how do they say? My father used to say, everyone wants to eat with you at the table when you got steak on the table, but who's with you when you don't have that steak? That leads me to this. There's another situation that what Fat Joe did, right? So Fat Joe made a lot of money with the music and stuff like that. He had an entourage, I want to say about 30, 35 guys, give or take. And one day he said, you know what? I'm going to tell everyone I'm broke. So he told the whole crew he was broke. He only had 3 guys left. The next day, guess who was with him? 3 guys. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm not broke. So all those 30 guys over there, no more steaks, lobsters, they were just leeching. So to answer that question, how do they add value to you? Only you can make that determination. I'll give you an example. I'm invited all the time to go out, evenings, drinks, dinner, this and that, whatever. Do I want to? Yeah. That's this guy. Now this guy. Steve, what's that going to do for you for where you're headed? Why do I got to go to that event? Why am I going to put myself in a position that something can happen that would stop me from winning over here? You guys got to make that decision. I can't do that for you. How you guys dress, how you present yourself, everywhere you go. Right? Mr. Teal, do you have a question?
Yes. Can you tell people the importance of learning?
Whoa, the importance of learning. That hits me harder because I yearn to learn, because what I've realized is that once I have learned, I can apply what I've learned to get even farther and faster ahead. So to answer his question, it's very important to learn if you want to better your situation, get out of a situation, or do better in your life. That's up to you guys, right? We're right here. This is a library right here, right? When was the last time you guys went in a library? Oh, shit.
Every day.
Okay. So you guys are reading. Okay. So what's important in a library, right? Books. What's inside of books? Knowledge. Different subjects, right? You can find it cooking, baking, construction, whatever your heart desires, you can find it in here. Now, it's going to be a little difficult when you start trying to get into things that are, how do I say this, not tangible. So, for example, why did this business do this type of deal with this business? You're not going to find that in books. You have to find that between business dealings of a business. That's some of the things that I look up. Why did Microsoft partner with this company? Why did Elon Musk do SpaceX and he's trying to run an AI company? Why is he doing that? You're not going to find that in books. What you're going to do, though, like what I do, I'll read as much as I can on SpaceX, as much as I can in the AI companies, and then I put in the missing pieces. All right? The books has the information. You got to put the information together to make it useful for yourselves. It's not going to be given to you on a plate. Here you go. Here you go. Here's a $10 million deal right here. Here you go. Doesn't happen that way. No. So my houses, I'll give you an example. So real estate, I didn't know how to write up a deal, a contract to sell a house. Guess what? I learned that real quick. Couple days. What? I don't need none of that. My attorney, here. Legal mumbo jumbo, put it in. This is what I want. This is what we're doing. That's it. I looked all that up myself. Of course, you've probably seen on social media, Steve, use this realtor. Yo, Steve, use this attorney. Oh, you guys want me to use your people. No one wants to give me information that puts money in my pocket. Got it. Yeah, no. I did it my way. Questions, concerns? Joe, you got a question? Talk to me.
I came in late. I'm listening. I have a lot of questions, but I need more time. I came in short.
No worries, no worries.
I'm listening. I want to sit and listen.
So let me ask you a question for everyone out here. What are you guys doing to get yourselves ahead and your families ahead? Gases are up, rent is up, taxes are up. What are you guys doing?
I was thinking of real estate move. House coverage. I cover house.
Okay.
Roof over. It's always, that's been one of the biggest struggles. Keeping a safe home.
I understand.
Starting there.
Okay. So, all right, so if everyone's working and you don't have money to invest or to make a move, what is a person or a family to do? What if I told you you could save a few dollars every day just by not going to Starbucks? I seen you like to eat Dunkin' Donuts. You like those donuts? So maybe don't eat that donut, right? Steve, it doesn't cost a lot of money. Okay, so you spend $3 a day just on donuts. Okay. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's $3, 6 days a week. $10 an hour. You said it, right? So what I'm trying to tell you is that your everyday purchases make an impact on you. You just don't really see it. You don't see it until the end of the month or the end of the year. Because most people do is they'll go buy a latte, go buy lunch. Oh, it's lunch. Arthur, we work together at DMV. I'm buying lunch today. Oh, okay, well, you buying lunch 5 days a week, 2 years. I saved extra 5, 7 grand. 10 grand, whatever it is after 52 weeks.
What would you do? How would you invest 10 grand?
How would I invest in 10 grand?
Quick, easy flip.
I'll be honest with you, there is no such thing as a quick, easy flip. That is a misconception. Now, I'll be honest, when people say easy flips, you will have to do something on top of your money. You will have to do that for a while until you can make money and lose a few dollars and not worry about it. So for the person who has to worry about every single dollar, to be honest with you, I would focus on lowering my expenses. Get used to living on a budget. Get used to that. It's not going to be comfortable. I'll give you guys the sauce right now, exactly what I did. You're not going to like it. You're not going to be drinking that drink that you got right there. No, I get it. $1. How many of those you know? He didn't tell you that's 3 of those a day. All I'm going to say is you're not going to like what I'm going to say. You be uncomfortable for a little bit so you can change your life. That's it. I did it for years. So much that now my kids, Dad, can we go here? Can we go? They don't even realize what's happening. And sometimes I don't want to treat my kids because then it becomes, how do I say this? A norm. When the norm isn't eating out 6 days a week.
Where did you put the money that you saved every day?
So what I did is I had conversations with my mother and father. I saved up extra $250, $200. Can you help me put this on the stock market? And that's when they started telling me, okay, well, what do you want to invest in, Steve? Steve, if you put in 200, I'll give you 200. What? I'm in. Let's go. I want to work harder to match what my mother was going to put in. But that took time. She's the one that guided me saying, okay, Steve, McDonald's. So for example, that's your son right there, right? What do you see your friends eat every day? What do they wear every day? Name one thing that they eat every day and what you see them wearing. Okay. Okay, the reason why I asked that is what your kids are doing on a big scale is what the future is. So for a person to answer your question, for $10,000, I would ask your son and have him ask 2 of his friends, what are they wearing, eating, and doing? There you go. He might not say anything right now, but as soon as he gets home, he's on the video games or whatever, you're going to recognize where to put the money. There you go. I'll give you an example, a perfect example, which I realized as a father myself. 7 years ago, I noticed myself going to GameStop all the time. My oldest son, my little son, Dad, can we go to GameStop? I got my report card. I got a new game. I go to GameStop. I see them. My little one, he's trading in a game. He's getting a couple dollars back. He's buying another game. My oldest son, yeah, Dad, I need this remote. I need this headset. A lot's going on right here. Oh, okay. So this is the hub right here. So what did I say for this? I invested into GameStop. Why did I do that? Because my kids were there a couple days a week. That's what I do. Then what happened? I don't know if you guys know. I don't know how many years later, Elon Musk made a tweet. GameStop went, boop.
So what advice would you give someone that wants to invest their money but don't have a lot of money to invest? Like where would they begin? Where would they start? What would they look into to invest their money?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Like what advice would you give someone that wants to invest in stock markets but can only start off slow, like with little?
Okay. So, all right, so the question is what advice would I give to someone as far as investing into the stock market that doesn't have a lot of funds? Well, a really big misconception of the stock market is you don't need millions of dollars to invest in the stock market. You can invest with $20. Now, it's just what can you invest in? So I'll break this down for you. The companies that you see that are worldwide, Amazon, Nike, Microsoft, those stocks are going to be up, right? They're up because they push a lot of product. So they're already big. So what I would tell that individual is start reading and researching the new companies that are coming out that are not huge. So you got Amazon that does Amazon, right? Does anyone know another company that does the same thing as Amazon? Huh. That's a company I would invest in. I've heard of them. It's overseas. So what I'm saying is that you don't have to start big. So those companies, the stocks are going to be, their shares are going to be expensive, right? So what I would say is look in the companies that are new companies, that are fresh companies, and then start seeing what your peers are doing, wearing, eating, and then you got to put those pieces together. Like I said, it's not going to be handed to you. It's not. You know, we're unfortunately, we don't have certain connections like certain politicians and athletes and superstars do. This is going to be that sneaker right there. Next year, it's going to go huge. It doesn't work that way, guys. But if you do a little reading and research and start figuring out what companies are doing what, right? You know what? I'll use an example. I'm a hairdresser. What products am I going to use? Well, I've seen this product in California. They don't have it in Connecticut. It does good. I've tried it. I'm going to put a couple dollars into that. That's what I would suggest. But if you're trying to ask for a one-shop stop that's going to make you well, it's not going to happen. Stock market is the long game. Yes, Mr. Jackson.
I would just also say that there's a bunch of companies. There's also other ways of investing in the stock market where you can take an amount of money and spread it all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Small amounts, so that you can just get a little bit everywhere, and that will add up to something.
So I use Bradley Foster and Sargent. To piggyback off of what Maurice is saying, is I use Bradley Foster and Sargent. That's an investment firm. You can actually call them up, speak to an agent, and ask them, what would you advise? Right? For me, I've been dealing with them for so many years. I already have the relationship. For anyone that's new, I would suggest reach out to Bradley Foster and Sargent. Reach out to other investment firms. See what works good with you. You call them, listen, I have $200. What can I do with the 200? Well, the 200, I can get you at a 7 point something return at X amount, this, not whatever. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot at the beginning, but you got to remember that's the long game, right? Now, who said, I forgot who it was, saving $100 a month, 20 years to be a millionaire. Putting $100 away. But see, what people aren't taking into consideration is the compounding. So the 100 this month, which next month your buying power is different. It's now 200. Then the following month it's 300. So what happens is now when you get more money, you're able to do what? To acquire more shares, right? That's why that's why I say the art of compounding is serious. That 200 in 2 years, a couple thousand, 10 years, 30 years. Talking some serious money, guys. But we don't see it as that because society, we need it now, we need it now, I need it now. So to piggyback off what you're saying, create a habit. I got so used to working for X amount of dollars and living off a minimum even though I made X amount of dollars. So to me it's normal. And now I'm on the other side of the fence. I have a few dollars, but now the money I'm investing is that greater lump sums. I'm still in the same spreadsheet because I'm using all my funds to invest here for a bigger outcome. Hence the real estate, the buildings, the properties, the businesses. But that took time. It didn't happen overnight. I had to make those small decisions, not drink the Coke like that. But I get it. No, I get it. You're working. I'm not pointing you out just individual. I'm just saying in general.
10 calories. No sugar.
No, I get it. I'm just saying over the long period of time. So for me, it was Monster. My best friend could tell you. I drink Monster every day. You know, my mother used to say, I used to buy a coffee. I was in college. Oh, you rich. You got a coffee. Oh.
Get that Bustelo and make it at home.
At first, you know, I'm like, what is she crazy? I gotta go to class. I'm tired. You know, what's she talking about? Did the math a little bit later. Oh shit, mom's right. How much should I spend on food and drinks? Shit, creeping up there. And that's when you go, So it's really not, we don't have the money. It's really we're not being wise with our money. Right? Because I know a lot of people, yo, Steve, I don't got it. I see him buying cigarettes. I see him going shopping. I see him doing. What do I know? But they have to figure that out. That, like you said, that it's not for you. Now, not only with the people, but what are you buying that's helping you? I'll tell you what I do. The money that I have, I invest in myself. I'll pay for someone to teach me something that I can use. That's valuable to me. That's self. I'm investing in self. To piggyback off of that, work on my health. Right? You know, down a couple pounds, right? All right, you take me a little bit more serious if I wasn't clean cut, right? Oh. What's the question you had?
So when it comes to networking with people that are higher in stature than yours,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say your biggest obstacle is, and how do you get to a certain endpoint with that, person you network with?
So the question was, how do you get past in networking? Correct me if I'm wrong. How do you get past into the meetings with the big time people and businesses? Sometimes it's by chance. Basically doing research and finding out who's doing what, who's running what company, who's running what organization, and reaching out to them. And then after doing that, making a neutral introduction, and then always making sure they remember who you are. It's not their job to remember you. It's your job to make sure that they remember you.
What was your biggest networking success, I would say?
Spoke to billionaire Larry Ellison's business partner.
How did that turn out? What was the outcome?
Working on a business deal with a couple zeros. But I had to talk to this guy, to email this guy, to get his number, to speak to that guy. So that's a whole bunch of ifs, right? But when you have that X amount of minutes or seconds, you have seconds. Better make that impression. So what is everyone else doing out there? What are you guys investing in? You said real estate? No one's doing Bitcoin? No?
That's my biggest son. He on that biggest guy. I haven't touched it yet. I've looked into it for sure.
Yeah. What I've learned for myself is investing is stick with what works. Try a couple different things and see what works well for you, because what works well for me might not work well for you. I can give an outline on certain things, like my mother and father gave me outlines, but I got to take it to the next level, right? Whether you got $100,000, $50, $1 million, your money going out and your money coming in, checks and balances is always going to be checks and balances. It doesn't matter how much money you got. So I say that you got to be smart about your money, right? So even if you make a few dollars, you invest, you make $10,000, what's the next step? Have that plan ready. Because by the time you're there, you got to move, right? Right? The Bradley Foster and Sargent, the investment firm that works for myself and my family, they don't call me every day with their, well, we got to do this trade to make this amount of money. No. It doesn't work that way. Right? Stock market opens up bright early. Making decisions for the whole world before some of you guys are even sleeping. Right? Those big companies are running everything, right? Oil over here, insurance over here, healthcare over here. Decisions are being made for us. Mr. Tim, another question. Yes?
Talk about family.
Family is everything to me. Everything I do is for my family. It's a little bit different for me because I had to overcome a lot of things as a young boy. So I've learned myself that I have to do things differently because my kids aren't going through certain stresses or have certain PTSD on certain things. Challenge that I have is that they're good, right, financially, but how do I get them to be hungry as far as being motivated to go get an extra job if they got a nice hot meal and new sneakers? How do I do that for my kids? That's something that I struggle with. But, so what I do is I give them guidelines. Okay, you don't got to work a full-time job. You're going to work a part-time job. You're going to have chores that you got to do every morning. I want them done. I know you had a hard night last night playing video games, 8-9 hours. I know it's tiring. You better be up at 9 in the morning doing those chores. Well, Dad, I didn't sleep good. I said, please, tell me the story. I'm here with you. Tell me the story. Make it a good story. All right? That's the thing that I have to work through. Right? I have my own triggers and my own faults and the things that I have to overcome for me to be successful. But for my kids, it's going to be different. So what I do differently is I just set them up with a guideline and see how they operate within those guidelines, and then I make adjustments. Yes?
With all the inflation and devaluing of the dollar, what would you advise somebody do with their cash? Should they hold it and go Bitcoin?
Cash on hand? So I have a rule. Basically what I do is I have a lot of all my funds is stock market, real estate, businesses, cash on hand. What I do as far as cash on hand, I try to keep it under 19%. Now that's different for everybody. You know what I mean? I do that because I need the money to make me money on the stock market, but I need to have funds for my businesses while the businesses are making money, and then my assets produce income. So it's a game. You got to move the pieces. So for you, for example, got a couple kids, own a home, got a few dollars, got a good job, maybe place a few dollars in a business, a little bit on the stock market, not too much because you don't want to spread yourself too thin, right? I can't tell you on that. You know what I mean? For example, the business I'm working on, I'm investing a lot of money into some of the company I'm doing. Tens of thousands, but that's me. I go all or go home. But to advise everyone, I wouldn't advise everyone to do that, no. But I do advise that you invest into yourself, right? Instead of a business, because you are your greatest asset, right? Not saying you can't go get a barbershop or a hair salon or a convenience store. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that, but are you going to be there? Okay then. So then that means you got to be okay if this isn't okay. So this is a rule that I did. If I buy a business or do something, if I can't do it times 3, I won't involve myself. So for example, when I bought the trucks, I had enough cash and or backing that if something went wrong, I could still double and triple it up. That's why you see a lot of businesses, they start them up, they run out of cash, another company will buy them out, or they'll close and they lose a whole bunch of money. Could be for a bunch of reasons. They didn't have the cash flow, they didn't run the business correctly, or they didn't separate their funds of what they needed for backup cash. And that's why people partner up, right? If I'm doing a business, you got the knowledge, yo, listen, let's put our heads together. That's how partnerships are formed, right? So to answer your question, it would be, I do a percentage thing, but I would advise to do a percentage thing, but be okay if the business isn't okay, right? Until it sustains itself and then it's feeding you more than you want, right? Because I have money coming in out of the stock market, does it mean I have to spend it? No. That's not what being mature is, no. I can say no to those sneakers, no. All right? I made a couple dollars, let's put that away. See, I'm different. I save times 3. The average person, well, I don't even think has 500 in an account, whatever the number is. So if that's 500, that means I got to have 1,500. Because by the time an accident happens, whether it's me, my kids, something out of my control, I can cover the mistake and my family's still okay. Right?
Have you set limits before? Like for me, like when I was 18, I used to tell myself $1,000 was broke. So if I was approaching $1,000, that means I'm broke. So I could never let myself get any lower.
Yeah. I did it like that, but like I said, it wasn't a dollar figure, it was a percentage. Because I have certain businesses that go up X amount of dollars, down X amount of dollars, but if I stay within the percentage, win or lose, I'm still okay. It gets a little tricky. Even when you have a business, even when you're losing, you're still winning, but you got to learn that as you continue. Any questions before I wrap it up? And then we'll do a little meet and greet out there.
If you had to start over today with a $19.75, $19 an hour job, how would you get to where you are, and how many years do you think it would take?
I like this. All right, so the question is, what would I do right now at, $19 an hour to get to where I'm at right now? I would team up with people that are like-minded with myself. I would get myself a job at $19 an hour, then a part-time job, and then I would save that part-time job and then invest that part-time job into a business and myself. Now, for how many years would it take to get me to where I'm at? It would take several years. It would take some time. It's not going to happen like this. But once you surround yourself with like-minded people, your one step is light years than by yourself. Any other questions before we wrap it up? And then I got some food and snacks for everybody. You can ask some questions. And then I have my book out there, From Orphan to Millionaire. Okay, he's tired, huh? Make sure you get that information tonight. Guys, thank you for listening. There's food and snacks out there. And you can ask me any questions when we're out there, okay?